Second Amendment. What does it mean to you? What do the words shall not comply mean in the context of the Second Amendment? For me, it means something very simple. It means that I will not comply with any of their regulatory schemes at the federal level, since they are actually barred by the Second Amendment from attempting to enforce or try to put forth any gun control against the individual. That is a states' rights issue, and in the state that I live in, everything is on the table. There is nothing that is banned in this state, as far as I know, unless they've changed something very, very recently, which the only thing that I know they changed is you don't need a license to carry a gun anymore. So, having said that, these are a couple of ARs. This was the first AR that I owned. It is a 14.5 pinned and welded AR-15. It didn't look like that. It was base model, bought it during the ban. No bayonet lug, you can see that. But anyway, after owning it for a while, I thought about it. It was like, it'd be nice to have one that's a little bit handier than this. Maybe I'll SBR it. And as I looked into the SBR rules, inability to transfer it without a dealer, inability to travel across state lines with it without asking permission, needing to pay extra $200 for the tax stamp. As I looked into it, I thought all of those are infringements upon my right to carry as a Second Amendment individual at the federal level. Again, state laws, you have to obey those. You can't break those or else, you're getting the axe. But I thought, there's no way that I'm going to just give my rights away like that. I'm not going to come begging to operate and ask for my rights. There's no way. So instead of that, I bought an AR frame, receiver. At that time, there was no spot on the 4473 for just a receiver. It was either a rifle or a pistol. So I called up a company, made sure that I could get a bare bones receiver that had never been attached or fully assembled into a rifle. And when they brought it to my FFL, I took it home and I asked them first, though, to make sure to sign it off as a pistol, because there was, again, no spot for frame or receiver. I asked them to write it down as a pistol. They did that, and then I came back maybe 2 months later after I got all the parts and put it together and showed them what I had built. The guy that sold it to me, actually, it was his wife that sold it, but anyway, the guy was an officer. He was a policeman, ex-policeman, or still serving at the time, I don't remember. But when he saw the AR pistol with the 10 1/3 inch barrel and no buffer tube, no buttstock on it, no A3 brace, it was just bare bones tube out the back. It was actually this receiver, but it didn't fold back then. And it was just an AR upper, A2 with the fixed front sight, and this tube sticking out the back. And it was funny because he told me the only thing that thing is good for is drive-bys. I laughed my ass off in his face, was like, I thought that was funny. But the thing about it was, at that time, I had a concealed handgun license, CHL. And in Texas, you cannot conceal a loaded rifle, but you can conceal and carry a loaded pistol. So that thing used to go with me anywhere. Well, technically, this thing used to go with me everywhere. And when I wanted to put it somewhere, I'd just separate the two halves, shove it into a backpack, and it was ready to rock and roll. If I needed to pull it out, it'd take me about 15 to 20 seconds, pull it, slap it together, push the pins, good to go. But there was no way again that I was going to give up my rights by going to them and letting them make me a dealer in NFA firearms just to own something that should be my right to begin with. Again, it wouldn't have mattered in Texas, because if I did SBR this thing, I could not have carried it the way I wanted to, which was in a backpack or in a bag, loaded. It's illegal in Texas. So this pistol, when the SBA 3 came out, I didn't even get one at first. I waited a long time, just kept looking, and this thing is freaking painful. I shoot nose to charging handle, and this thing would poke the crap out of me. But anyway, SBA 3 comes out. It's a legal product. I put one on there. Game changer. It's beautiful. It does a wonderful job of stabilizing the firearm when attached to your arm. I'm not disabled, but I still enjoy shooting it that way. Or if it happens to bump my shoulder when I'm nose to charging handle, it is what it is. But that piece was specifically built for a purpose, and it was to not cross the lines of, 1, the NFA, and 2, my Texas laws. Now, I don't even have a concealed weapons license anymore. I'm at the point where even that is an infringement on our rights. And you have some people saying that because I have, I don't know who they are, you can hear them every now and then in the background of the gun community. Well, why do you have a brace on there? Why do you not just put a stock on it? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? The Second Amendment gives you the right to keep and bear. That is it. It doesn't say anything about purchasing a gun through an FFL. So I have a brace on there because it is, 1, legal in my state, 2, it makes it a pistol still, so that means that I can carry it and conceal it the way I'd like to, and 3, it just looks badass. It completes the firearm. But shall not comply to me means shall not give up my rights either through the 4th Amendment, 2nd Amendment, 10th Amendment, any other amendment you can think of, and pay extra money for my rights. I don't own a suppressor. I don't own any AOW. None of that stuff that would be purchased through a FFL SOT, because that in itself is capitulating and pushing the system further. That's telling them that what they are doing is correct and it's right, and it's not. Bottom line, we all have a right, unless your state is retarded, to own these types of things. And to me, that is really what the Second Amendment is about. If I couldn't get one through a dealer at that time, what did I do? Took it upon myself, built what I wanted. And that's the same thing that's going on with these polymer 80s right now. The ATF or AFT will not be able to ban those devices. Same things they can't ban the braces. Why? They don't have jurisdiction over any of the people except for FFLs, dealers, importers, manufacturers, prohibited persons. They don't have that jurisdiction. There is no nexus between possession and the federal government. That is a strictly intrastate activity. I'm going to eventually make more videos breaking down my full opinion on this, and I'm not just going to give my opinion, I'm going to back it up with the facts, the Supreme Court cases, and with the information that we've all seen from different cases where people were actually arrested. So it's just, that's where I am. I'm not getting a license to carry, and I'm not getting an FFL to manufacture SBR. No, I'm not getting any of that crap. I'm not getting a stamp. I'm going to represent the meaning of the Second Amendment as it is described in the Constitution.